Hmm. Hey, so I'm going to talk about Pisces risings. And this is something that I have. And I know a lot of people with Pisces risings that have similar traits. So I'm going off of intuition and personal experience with this. So Pisces risings can read everybody like a book. Though they might not be aware of the fact that they're doing it. You might, but if you had to describe that person to somebody else, you might have a difficult time, but you just innately understand them already. And then from this understanding, you adapt your vibration to be the best match to their energy. So you're constantly changing your personality to adapt to other people, which is a beautiful thing in a sense. You're always trying to be the best version of yourself for that person at any given time. Though this can be super exhausting if you are around people that have really negative energies all the time. You're going to have to spend a lot of time alone. And the same thing when you go into a group of people or a city or anything like that, you're going to be trying to shift and adapt and read hundreds to thousands of different people at once, and it's going to be super overwhelming. And I know personally, anytime I go into the city or I go into large groups of people, I have major amounts of anxiety because it's like every single person's thoughts and emotions are just cycling through me, and I think that it's me because Pisces rising is your identity, and it can be really hard to separate who am I, what am I feeling, from what is this person I'm talking to feeling, what is the energy of this room, what is the world feeling right now, how does the universe feel. You kind of do all of them. All of the layers are happening at once, and it's difficult to organize your thoughts and emotions and separate them appropriately. Make friends with a Virgo. That's my best advice. um so yeah, you're going to be extremely sensitive and you're going to pick up on everything. You're going to walk into a room, read everybody immediately, adjust your own energy. You're going to pick up on the color of the walls, the emotions of the room, anyone's past lives, if there's ghosts or spirits inhabiting the room, how the ground feels, what the temperature's like, if the wind is doing stuff, if the windows are open. Like, you might not be thinking that you're thinking all of this because it's not conscious. Pisces is the subconscious, unconscious mind, and your rising sign is really the stuff that just is happening all the time without you thinking about it. So all that's going on all the time, and you're very intelligent, and you'll know how to navigate the room, and you'll know how to just kind of like flow through everyone's energy. And you can put a Pisces rising in a room or a situation, and they'll figure it out. They'll figure out how to adjust. They'll figure out how to talk to people, where to be, how to exist. Like, they'll do it eventually. They'll just settle out into it. But again, it can be super overwhelming at times. And my advice for Pisces risings is to take some alone time, to isolate. Um, Animals have wonderful energy. They understand what universal love is. You can tell that if you know a dog, whatever. Earth, nature, wonderful, very balancing. And being alone. So these three things, either being by yourself, being out in nature, or being with animals, are safe spaces for you, where you can adjust your energy and you don't have to worry about it. And you can really fully understand who you are. Because the thing is, while you're shifting through your personality to constantly adjust to everybody else, you really lose yourself. And it can be really hard to understand who you are in the midst of, well, all five of these people have all five of these emotions. Wait, what am I feeling? Who am I? And you really have to separate yourself so that you're not doing that. Because it's your rising, and because it's Pisces, it just kind of happens. It just flows. You can't really help it. And so you have to separate yourself physically from the environment in order to have a change and a break. Um, And so do these things and meditate and go inward. It's hard to be a Pisces right now, no matter where it aspects or what part of your chart it's at, because you're tapping into everything. You're tapping into the human condition in general and the universal experience emotionally, which is so fragmented and distorted right now that it's probably just going to cause you pain and suffering to think of the world, which sucks. And a lot of times you can't really help it. So I found this to be true of like Pisces rising. If you're having a really bad day and you're super emotional, that might have nothing to do with you. And that's hard because what do you do? And it's like nothing went wrong in your personal life. Everything's fine, but the world's going to shit and you're just happening to pick up on that. Or someone really close to you is having an awful time and it's just really affecting you. In these situations, you've just kind of got to let it pass through you. You've just kind of got to honor the emotions, let them happen. Don't try to repress them or suppress them or ignore them. Just let it flow, and a new one will come along eventually. I know that when the election was happening, I didn't sleep for 3 days, and I threw up. And I wasn't sick or anything. It was just like I could feel everyone. I could feel all the people in the world and in this country, their anger, their disgust, their frustration. No matter who you voted for, it was uncomfortable for everyone, because it's like no one really cared about either of the two people. And it's like, how are we at this point where nobody is really behind anyone that's our representative? Aren't we a democracy? It was bad for a lot of people, and I couldn't help it. I had to wait till it was over. I had to wait for about a week until it was truly over before it kind of settled out of my system. And it's unfortunate that it has to be like this at this time, because Pisces is very healing. Pisces understands universal love, and that's why they get hurt. They're like, why are people hurting each other? Why are people mean to each other? Why can't we all just live in unity? They get that, and people will say, well, that's not realistic, humans are never going to be that way. But maybe we're idealists, I don't know. But I believe that it's real. Just might not happen for a while, and people might not understand you right now. I think a Pisces rising is a really old soul that is always trying to fit in and be understood, but you're probably an outcast to some degree, or you might feel like you were never normal or fit in, and Pisces rising is always trying to do that. They're like, how do I human? Part of their adaptation is like, I just want to look like a normal human being right now. Because the truth is, they Pisces is the last sign, and they've got everything. They're kind of the transcendental Buddha, karmic completion, spiritual wisdom sign, and when that's your rising sign, it's like right out front for everybody to see. And people aren't really ready for that, and they don't understand that, and the spiritual consciousness is so asleep right now. So it's like you could be walking around talking about psychic visions and astral projection and crystals and Buddhism and Taoism and love and angels and ghosts and spirits and healing work, and that's great, and you should be doing those things. As a Pisces risings, you really need to be expressing your spirituality directly and upfront. But it could be really hard for you to find a group of people that you match with initially. I mean, eventually, as you get older, it'll probably be easier, and you'll learn who to stay away from and who to keep in your life, because your friends, you're gonna start melding your emotions and everything with them. So if you're around a bunch of negative people all the time that are really draining your energy, it's hard. And you're gonna have to find these people that understand who you are and allow you to be yourself, that allow you to meditate and get spacey and daydream and talk about things they've never heard of in their life. I mean, Pisces can be shocking as a rising sign. You have a lot of wisdom, and no matter what your age is, like, it's the old soul thing, and it can take people really off guard. But just stay true to who you are as best as you can. It's difficult as a rising placement because Pisces, again, it's about rising above your ego, recognizing that you are everything, recognizing that we're all interconnected and that you are the universe. And when this is in the house of personal identity and your individual ego, um, it's not like you have a very grounded sense of self. Your sense of self is probably constantly fluctuating from second to second. So you probably appeal very magical, very mystical, very spacey, very out of this world, like maybe you are an alien, maybe you identify that way, maybe you've had so many past life experiences off this planet that you remember, that you're consciously aware of, and people might not understand that, um, but it is what it is. And as far as first impressions go, I mean, Pisces risings are going to be very nice. Regardless of what you're thinking or regardless of your own darkness, when you first meet someone, you're going to be smiling. You're going to be like, oh, hi. You're going to try to make your energy as best as possible. People are going to think that you're gentle and sweet and compassionate and caring and wise and all of these things. Maybe a bit mysterious, spacey, kind of daydreaming, a little disconnected. You might always look tired or stoned, and you might always be tired or stoned. Um, but a lot of this has to do with the adaptation of you're always trying to match people's energies in the way that benefits the collective the best. So when you walk into a space, you're going to be very polite and very respectful of everything in that space. You're going to take everyone and everything into account. And you're going to be very nice and positive because you don't want to. It's like a double effect of like, yes, everyone's emotions affect you, but you can affect them as well. And you have the power to do this as well. So when you make someone else laugh, you make yourself laugh. And when you make someone else upset, you make yourself upset. That's just kind of how it works. Maybe that's a general rule, but for a Pisces rising, for sure. So it's like you're always going to try to want to be an uplifting, positive person in a social situation, or you're just going to end up hurting yourself anyway. So when you're in a really bad mood, it probably is hard for you to want to socialize at all. You're going to feel like, why would anyone want to talk to me right now? I'm in such a horrible place. And it's good to honor these things too, and to kind of allow yourself to be alone and to have bad days and to be sad, and you don't have to be around anyone while you're in that space. Or people that really care about you obviously won't mind. I just know that Pisces can be really sensitive to how they're affecting people in general, and if it's your rising sign, you're always affecting people with it, so, you know, it can be a difficult road to navigate. You're probably really psychic. You're probably able to really pick up on what everyone's thinking and feeling and tell them directly and get visions. I know when I'm doing healing work, I always get visions and messages very directly that I need to tell the person. And there's a couple other people I know that are healers as well that have Pisces risings, and they're always also the people that have very vivid visual messages come through from spirit that they're able to tell these people. You could be good at mediumship, meditation, healing work. It's a very spiritual placement in general. And when it's your rising sign, it kind of is your whole chart. So you've got this very spiritual, Neptunian, unconscious void space, universal, infinite thing going on. And it's very beautiful. It can just be kind of chaotic, a bit all over the place. Yeah. I could talk about this for a while, but I don't want to ramble forever. If you have a Pisces rising or you know anyone that has a Pisces rising, please feel free to comment and talk about your experience with that. And if I've missed anything, I'm sure I've missed a bunch of stuff. I'm just one perspective, and I'm just kind of going off the cuff here. And yeah, astrology is really about data collection and understanding the human experience through metaphor and communication, and it's like a language. So I'm just one person, and at least, 1/12 of the world is a Pisces rising. So I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that have similar or different experiences, and please comment so we have a more filled out description of what this means, because I think especially for Pisces risings who don't fucking know who they are, astrology is a way to kind of condense and organize things and explain them in a way that you wouldn't normally be able to, and at least that's what drew me there. It's like I wanted to understand who I was. And I'm sure that's a trait that a lot of people have. It's not just this aspect. But I feel that you're probably always trying to figure out who the fuck you are. So if anyone's got any more insight, please share. And thank you for tuning in. Much love to my Pisces risings out there. Have an awesome day.